We've seen City in the past get themselves into good positions, and after a good result, they would then drop points against what looked on paper an easy tie. What has changed this season?
Well, he had a year to work with him. He had a year to get rid of what he considered a deadwood, right? Players that were pretty good players, but he considered them either over the hill or not fitting what he wants to do. Got a shot at them, tightened up in his own mistakes, which were a couple of his signings, particularly the goalkeeper. Got his full-backs in. Started to get a tune out of certain players, particularly Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
Got even more out of Kevin De Bruyne, which is hard to think of, and is able to rotate Aguero and Gabriel Jesus. And everybody seems to be focused at City and absolutely keeping this going. It's not like, wait, that's us now, we're the greatest and we're going to win the league. He's demanding of the players and they're producing it every week.
Steve, you won 5 league titles.
Yep.
How difficult is this sort of run to put together?
Oh, listen, I can't tell you how difficult it is, but what I will tell you is the reason they've done it, obviously the players on the field take a huge part in that because they are absolute quality. Defensively, he's tightened up.
Yep.
They're better going forward. But the way they come out game after game after game is 100% down to the manager. You know, they've got a manager who, regardless of the score, regardless of the opposition, he's holding every single one of them to a standard. And whenever they drop below that, you guarantee he's in their face telling them. And that, obviously, winning makes it a lot easier. But for me, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest reason. When you're as good as they are, the way they're performing so consistently is down to the manager.
For me, the big difference between Manchester City this year and last year is I felt at times the team last year started to believe their own hype, especially after they beat Manchester United. Had a great start to the season,
Yep.
and then everybody's talking about how good they were. We were questioning whether they would go or how far they'd go unbeaten, how soon they'd win the title, and then they had a bad result and they just couldn't get it back together. That'd be the test for this team. When a poor result does come along, or when somebody does get the better of you, if you can just pick back up where you left off. Or signs are that absolutely yes, that's not an issue. But I think that is a big difference in mentality between Manchester City this season and last.
They're playing to win the Premier League, but they're also playing probably for a starting place in the quarter-final of the Champions League, right? Barring Basel doing something extraordinary or City doing something stupid. These players are all focused on a potential quarter-final of the Champions League after the Basel game and who's going to be in the team. But I think more so than that, I think the coach wants to make a statement, and that statement is, last year, a lot of people and a lot of media press conferences were, well, can you do it in England?
Yeah.
You know, can you handle the English style? Can you handle the tackling? Particularly after that game where they lost at Leicester by 4. Well, they lost 4 goals at Leicester and they were all over the place. And he got very upset about the line of questioning. And I think he wants to make a mark this year. I think he wants to win it as early as he can, with as big a gap as he can, so as he can walk into the press room and say, there you go.
And not only that, I suppose the big question is now not whether or not Manchester City can win the title, but if they can go through the whole season unbeaten. 21 games to go. You know, the countdown's already on.
I'd have to say no, just purely from a historical standpoint. It is so difficult.
Yep.
And guaranteed, there's going to be one day, because it happens to everybody. I don't care how good you are,
Yep.
regardless of the players you have. There's always that one game where, for some inexplicable reason, the guys don't turn up.
But Arsenal, I suppose,
missing.
did it. You know, they set the standard.
But that's it. We're talking, what, many times it's been done in 100 years once? That tells you how difficult it is.